Right, it's an absolutely glorious Sunday morning. Is it April 29th, 30th? I don't know, I forget. Anyway, I'm a little bit out of breath. I've just literally rushed all these palms outside. These are the ones I've been keeping indoors over winter, and sort of the more sort of tropical style palms. So if you like exotic palms, this is the one for you. You can grow them in the UK, but you have to dedicate a space to them. And I apologise for anyone who was interested in how I overwintered. I did do a video in October, I believe, about the setup of the grow tent I made, but I didn't really do any updates. But to be fair, there weren't a lot of updates to do because I've been keeping these on bare minimum life support. Last year, or the winter previous to this one, we had it nice and hot, 26 degrees, good humidity, and the palms just grew like weeds. This year, with the price of electricity, blah blah blah, I had to try and keep the temperature down a bit, so it's literally only about 22 during the day with the lights on, and then drop down to room temperature at night. So we didn't really get any growth, a little bit of growth, but nothing major. But we've had a few losses, and we had a real problem with the old mealybugs this year, which I've never had before. But anyway, so what I'm going to quickly do is just go through all the palms. I'm not going to be using the Latin names. I'll use the common names just to keep it quick and simple. And we'll see how they look and what are good candidates for overwintering indoors and bringing out for summer in the way of more tropical style palms. So I will say, first and foremost, obviously, at the temperatures I was keeping them at, the coconut is dead. I expected that. Winter previous to this one, it grew, like I say, just grew like a weed. It was absolutely brilliant in the setup I had before, but I just couldn't heat it to what it was and justify the money spent. So that was a hit, but that's only 10 quid anyway from Morrison's. I'm not concerned about that. I may well get another one if they've got some nice little ones in there, but yeah, not too concerned about that one. So let's start with the smaller ones and we'll work our way up to the big ones. So we've got a few liquoilas here. So these are all purchases from eBay. That's the golden liquoila, and they done quite well actually at the cooler temperatures. That's the mapu with the mottled leaf. I'm starting to push out a couple of mapus there. Got a little dipsis, which unfortunately the tag's faded, so I don't know what that is. Dipsis something. This one's looking a bit rough, still green on it. Dipsis rivularis. I did keep everything really dry, so that's why we're getting a lot of brown leaf as well. I didn't want root rot. I did lose a couple to root rot, but nothing to mention really, just cheapy eBay seedlings which I weren't too concerned about. So the main palms that I really like all made it. So we've got the Copanetia alba weeds, but looking good. Dipsis onlahensis, some brown tips, but pushing out a new spear. I'm surprised this one done so well. It's the golden Christmas palm. Looking really good. Dipsis triandra. Two in there, looking good. This is the one I don't know if there's any common name for. We'll just call it the Alterfrons. I can't even pronounce that. I don't know if you can read. It's written in pencil, but that's looking okay. Sticking out a new frond. The mini coconut, not looking good at all, but there is green in the centre, so it's covered in mealybugs. I'm going to now spray all these down. Give them a good spray down, cut off all the dead, and get them in the greenhouse. So we'll get them back to growth hopefully with the temperatures the way they are now. the greenhouse is hitting 30-35 degrees every day in the sun, so that should get them back into full growth, and we'll start fertilising them. So the important thing is, because I kept it cool in the grow tent, I did not fertilise anything. I just literally barely watered, maybe once a week, just to splash. Just kept everything really dry. Like I say, root rot was my biggest concern. What are these? The beetle nut palms. Dipsis Nautinus Eureka something or other, but yeah, they're looking rough. Again, covered in mealybugs. Really just down to one green spear, but we'll get them back to good. We've got a small flamethrower palm here. Again, covered in mealybugs, but got the spear coming out. That's why I'm wearing the gloves. I don't want to spread mealybugs to everything, so once I've sprayed all these down, dispose the glove, job done. Right, so we've got the Bismarck here, which is 2 years old, grown from seed by myself. Sort of a split leaf on that one, pushing out a new frond. Looking really good, probably the best looking palm out of most of them, to be fair. No mealybugs on that, so they probably don't like the, I don't know, it's a really thick leaf, and you got that sort of cementum on it as well, so maybe that's putting the bugs off that. Some random palm seedling come up there, I don't know what that is. The Dipsis Jurassic Park. This is a nice little specimen that'll get to some size, hopefully, eventually. Quite slow, pushing out a new frond there. So this is one that you just get huge fronds and really no trunk. You'll get about 10-foot fronds just coming out the ground, so it's quite sort of prehistoric looking. I've got one here, and my best guess, because the label fell off at some point, so this is one I probably grew from seed, and I think it's probably a Cuban royal palm. What we got at the back here, Brachario Phoenix Alfredii, the high plateau coconut. That's looking really yellow, so that's going to need some fertilizer, but that's still pushing out the growth, but just very yellow. We've got the king palm. A lot of the older fronds have dried out on that. I know these are all in close quarters, but as you can see, it's sunny everywhere. I don't want to start burning the leaves straight away, so this is the only sort of shadiest spot I've got, and the sun is coming around, so I'm going to have to be quick. Don't want to get them out and burn them all up straight away. So this is an interesting one. I rubbish at pronouncing names, so we'll just let you look at that. So this is one with a really spiky trunk. Again, looking rough, but that'll do okay. Right, so that's it for the smaller palms. This is an interesting one. So we've got the standard Christmas palm here, which is looking as good as it went in before winter, so that's done really well over winter. It is pushing a new spear there from the centre, and yeah, really happy with that. At the back we've got a bigger flamethrower palm. That's a new leaf that recently opened up. Still got a little bit of red in it, I don't know if you can see, and there's a new spear coming as well, so that should take off rather well this year. Nice wide tropical looking fronds on that. Right, this is another seed grown Cuban royal palm. So that is about 4 years old, and that is probably nearly pushing 5.5 foot, so that's doing well. I make this mistake every year, and I've got a bit of a problem. I've got a red latan in a big pot, so nice sort of red edge to the leaves, but I've put a small queen palm rested on the blank part of the pot, and yes, it's rooted in solid, so I have to be careful. I pull that out and I'll have to repot that queen palm now because it's got really deep roots. And the same thing here with this one. So we've got the Got the foxtail palm here, which is doing okay. It's pushing out a new frond. Bit of sunburn from last year. I'm sure it'll get burnt a little bit this year as well, but that's growing. But again, we've got a white elephant palm, which I put, again, just wetted it on the open part of the pot, and that is rooted in solid again. But yeah, that white elephant palm's quite nice, really white underside of the leaf, and they get huge leaves. These leaves get 6-8 foot wide, massive. Actually quite a good contender for an indoor palm. They like the shade. Right, so I'm sorry it's a bit rushed, but that is the indoor outdoor palm collection. So a lot of these I'll be keeping outside straight away. Some of them obviously want to be acclimatized a bit to the cooler nights, where some won't mind so much, like the Camadoria flamethrower palms. They take the cooler nights. They're no problem. They're quite cool tolerant anyway, and they've got quite thick leaves, so I'm not worried about the wind sort of affecting them too much. So it's literally just a matter of keeping them somewhere a bit shadier and then moving them to a lighter area afterwards. But a lot of these will be going in the greenhouse, so I've now got to sort out area in the greenhouse, pull all the plants out, get the palms in at the back of the greenhouse where it's a bit shadier, and sort them all out. So like I say, not ideal, but a lot of these palms take it quite well being indoors. So literally now it's just a matter, I've got the hose, I'm going to spray them all down, try and get the rest of the mealy bugs off. Well, what I'll do first and foremost is cut all the dead foliage off. So there's no point trying to wash off mealy bugs of stuff you're going to cut off anyway. So cut it all back, get it all back to good green growth, give them a good spray down, and then put them in a suitable position, whether that be in a shade outside or in the greenhouse. Right, again, sorry for the rush, but I'm quite busy this weekend, and got a lot on my hands. I'm trying to balance quite a few things at the minute, so here we go. Right, I hope you enjoyed a look at some of the more tropical palms, and hopefully out the summer we'll do individual spotlights on some of the palms, and we'll look at them and see how they grow in the summer outside in the UK. Right, thanks for watching.